Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and of course, I have my man, my brother, with the Boosted Brothers Broadcasting. It is Carson. Carson, how we doing here tonight?
I'm good, Brett. How are you?
I am doing great myself here. It's this race at the conclusion, my man. Halfway done with the season, but this track, a very tough bumper to bumper. We're going to see a lot of action here tonight at Slinger.
Yeah, Brett. A lot of beating and banging. It's hard to see through these turns, so wrecks are going to be bigger than they're going to be some calamity. They're going to stack up, and it's a quarter mile here at Slinger race number 6. Brett, what are you thinking here tonight? Who do you got?
Yeah, that's going to be very, very tough, of course, with the invert. But, I mean, it's tough to go against someone like Hayden Swank. I mean, last 3 races, top 3 in each of them. Right now, he sits third on the board. I'm going to go with the 35 machine. How about yourself, Carson?
We saw the 011 win last night, Brett. I think he's going to keep up his hot streak and win again here tonight.
Yeah, another good pick. Zach Nichols, quickest in practice. Jaden Kurtachi second, and then Hayden Swank third. So all of those cars, having a lot of speed. As here we go, Carson. Already time for qualifying. I mean, I think we have to look at the number 44 machine, right?
Yeah, Brett. He ran an absolute flyer in practice, breaking the 12-second barrier. So we'll have to see if he can put down a lap time of similar quality right here.
Yeah, that we'll see. Zach Nichols on the clock here at the start-finish line. And like you said, Carson, 12-second laps around here. They're absolutely flying. Maybe even a sub-12 as here we go. Nichols not liking this lap. He's going to jump out of it. So it looks like Nichols will forego this lap. So we'll now take a look at the 35. That is Hayden Swank. Swank not a great first lap here. Here comes his final lap here at the line for the 35 machine. Swank will improve to P number 6, so times flying in on the board.
Yeah, Brett, some really quick times, some surprise names running some flyers and qualifying. How about Dave Payne picking up a 10th, and then Andrew Harding's picking up 2 tenths?
Yeah, Andrew Harding's inside the top 5. That is awesome to see as we take a look here at the 44 machine of Nichols. His one and only lap here coming off of turn number 4. Where will the 44 slot in? He will go quick time and break in that 12-second mark.
If only you could do that in real life, Brett, just be on a qualifying lap.
Yeah, exactly. And Carson, I think with that time, that shatters the track record here with ASRC, right?
Oh, yeah, Brett. It beats it by almost half a second.
Wow, these guys absolutely flying. Kurtachi first lap, third quick here. Will back out of it here. So how about that? Nichols, Gauker, Kurtachi, that team absolutely flying here tonight.
Yeah, the teammates, Brett. They must have something figured out, those guys.
Yeah, that it definitely seems like because, man, 1, 2, 3 right there. And looking further back, we have, I think with the invert, Dave Payton is going to start on the pole. Hayden Swank outside of the front row. Man, oh man, we're in for a good one here as I believe we have 26 cars ready to do battle. And looks like we got another qualifier here. Looks like Mike McCaskill going to try and get a qualifying lap here late. So McCaskill off of turn number 4 here. He'll start his first time lap. We'll have time to at least get 1 lap in for the number 3 machine. McCaskill down the backstretch here. And Carson, you've driven this a few laps around this place. Like you said, no visibility really in the corners with the amount of banks, but also this track is really, really rough and bumpy.
Yeah, Brian, you got to be right on the bottom, right on the yellow line, apex the turn perfectly, and it's so bumpy down there. It's so hard visually to stay on your mark, and because it's a bowl here, and the depth perception is going to be tough. We're going to see the drivers bouncing off each other tonight.
Yeah, that we will here tonight, Carson. Like you said, you're going to want to run
the line.
Yeah, that too. Tough to hold a line, especially with cars, either right there against the wall because these straightaways don't have a lot of room to the wall, and especially off of turn number 4, that bank, it kind of goes away really quick. So we might see a good bit of cars catching that wall off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Brett. And the rear end of the car really walks out on you coming off turn 4 there. And the wall, it's kind of sloped at the very top of the wall, it's kind of sloped back toward the wall. So if you get up too high and pushing off there of 4, you're going to hit the wall.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that here as warm up in the books here in just 1 second. And that means we got to head down trackside. And I think a little change of plans here, Carson, a little bit different laps. I think a little rewarding to these drivers have been racing so well that we have a few extra laps here tonight at Slinger.
Yeah, Brett, 125 laps here, a little bit of an audible from the original 100. So we'll see how these drivers handle those extra 25 laps here tonight.
Yeah, rewarding these guys to go a little bit extra distance. So let's go head down trackside to go through tonight's starting order for 125 laps here at Slinger. Leading the field to green, this guy has visited victory lane once a season, looking to do it again. It's the 38 of Dave Payton. To Payton's outside here, last week's winner has been on a hot streak. Last 3 weeks have finished on the podium. That is the 35 in a new paint scheme, Hayden Swank. Heading to row number 2, rolling off P number 3, will be Regan Ford in the 20 machine, and rolling off P number 4 will be the 93, the Payne train, Andrew Payne. Rounding out the top 5 will be the 51 of Ron Hart. It looks like cars are rolling, so we may need to hustle through the rest of these, Carson.
Into his outside, starting in P6 will be the 45 of Andrew Harding's great qualifying run from him there. Starting 7th on the next row inside is the 66 of Steve Rochford. To his outside, starting 8th is the 17 of Greggy Long. Next row inside, starting 9th is the 6 car Mark Fuquay. And then to round out your top 10, it's the 011 of Jaden Kratacci, my pick.
Awesome, awesome. Rolling off 11th, going to Jimmy Gowker. 12th is Zach Nichols. 13th will be Mark Fuquay. 14th is Jeff Dillon. And then starting 15th is Scott Austin.
And then to pick up from there, to his outside, starting 16th, usually in the booth, it's the 98 of Jason Griffith. Next row inside is starting 17th is the 13 of Zach Coyer. To his outside, starting 18th is the 013 of Caleb Ramsey. 19th, next row inside, is the 33 of Landon Dickens. I believe he's a new driver. And then to his outside is the 003 of Mike McCaskill, starting 20th.
All righty, and here we go off of turn number 4. We go green flag racing for 125 laps here at Slinger.
Man, Browse. Oh, we got Rex already.
Side by side, and yeah, some contact further on back. We stay green, though.
Boy, they weren't very considerate of the announcers there. I was going as fast as I could, and we still couldn't get through the grid.
Yeah, that we couldn't. Carson, if you want to pick up a few extra cars that maybe didn't get mentioned, we'll try and catch some racing action through the field because we got a lot of cars still side by side out here tonight.
Yeah, Brett. 21st was the 18 of Devin McDonald. 22nd is the 48 Tim Rogers. 23rd is Ty Delphia. And then to round out your field, it's the 2 of Demeester.
All righty. Thank you very much, Carson. Looking here towards the front. First side-by-side action is for our race lead, Andrew Payne, still trying to hold to the outside of Dave Payne. They have Regan Ford right on their back bumper. Then further on back, we were looking just a minute before was Jaden Kratacci and Andrew Harding side-by-side, but still door number to door number for the race lead here. Some great racing out in front, but we saw it even last night as well. One car gets very loose. They're still sideways as we get a caution flag out for the first time here tonight. I believe Andrew Hardings may have been involved there, Carson.
Yeah, it was a stack up that started with Kratacci getting into Greggy Long there.
All righty, we'll take a look here on the turn 3 replay here for our first caution flag of the night. And yeah, you can see there, like you said, Carson, Kratacci into the left rear, Greggy Long. He has to work that wheel a ton, and then that just causes a stack up here, and not a lot of time to react at a place this small and this fast.
Yeah, Brett, and I think then, even though it started initially with Jade, and I think the wreck is going to be on Zach Nichols there because he's the one getting into Andrew Harding's that brought out the caution.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see if we hear any claims or anything like that. We do see the 44 dropping, so it looks like Zach
Yeah,
Nichols did
he
claim
already
that
claimed
yellow.
that. He did claim it.
Alrighty, thanks for the update there, Carson. So the 44 has some more work cut out for him here tonight. We'll go back to the tail end of these 24 cars that took the green flag here tonight. Out in front, looks like these guys ready to rock and roll here. We are 2 by 2 throughout the field, and here we go. Andrew Payne was in front, so he will lead the field to the first restart of the night, and Payne shot out of a cannon there. He is gone out in front.
Yeah, Tanner's running a quick show. He wants these boys going tonight, bro. Let's get this race in.
Yeah, and that we are here tonight as... Oh,
yellow. Anything. Spoke too soon, Brett.
Yeah, I guess we did there. As taking a look here, trying to see what happened, but I assume a lot of stack up towards the back, and don't quite see... Oh, I see Hayden Swank a lot of damage to that 35 machine, so last week's winner, a tough break to start tonight here.
Well, yeah, it sounds like Andrew already claimed that one, Brett.
Alrighty, well, thank you for the update there. Swank brings that car there pit side, and we'll take a look here, see what happened to maybe Hayden Swank there. And if Andrew Harding's claimed it, it might have happened maybe a little bit further on up or something than Carson as well. As we see Swank here on the outside of McCaskill. Oh, and just gets forced up top of 3 wide and gets into the tire barrier, Carson. So,
check that.
Yeah, Brett. Sorry, McCaskill claimed that. I don't know what I heard there, but it was on the 003.
All right, so McCaskill does claim that yellow there, and it looked like 3 wide racing gone wrong here tonight at Slinger. Definitely not a track that you can afford to go 3 wide, and Hayden Swank, a pretty good lick into the tire barrier off of turn number 2. You don't see cars get that too often here at Slinger.
No, Brad, like you said, this track is not made for 3 wide race, and this is a tight little dome here, so yeah, that's unfortunate. Just a little too racy too early, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree, because we're just past the 10th mark here tonight, and here we go. As Andrew Payne, once again, a great restart. Here comes Ron Hart up into second. We'll take that place from Dave Payne. And Carson, don't look now, but your pick trying to get P number 3 here. Kratachi able to take over P number 3. Dave Payne losing quite a bit of spots on this restart. Seems like that top side, Carson, very difficult to get around and keep that momentum here.
Yeah, Brett, the bottom's definitely preferred, and when you're outside, you can just hold the car above you up. When you're on the inside, sorry, you can hold the car above you up, and you just can't go anywhere.
Yeah, and I heard from a few drivers that the setup was a little bit tight here tonight. All these drivers, of course, run in the same exact setup, fixed setup. Only thing they can adjust is brake bias and steering ratio. So that will also make the top side a little bit tougher as well. As we get a yellow flag, it looks like Landon Dickens in the 33 machine rolling back here in 3 and 4. But we'll try and figure out what brought out this yellow here. We'll take a look here at Dickens coming off of turn number 4 and then turns 1 and 2. What'd you see, Carson?
Just Zach Nichols got into the 33 car.
Sound muted.
And
it's in turn 1 and 2.
Yep, we see that right there. Just a little bit too much of a bump there with these cars, and around goes the 33 off of turn number 2. And Carson, we see it most weeks, you know, you can lean on each other, it seems like, with these cars, but I think with the speed in such a small track and the bumps here tonight, we can't really do that too much here.
Yeah, Brad, no, this track, and with being like I said earlier, kind of visually, you can't really see the guys above you. So leaning on each other's tough, and we saw with netcode issues too. I'd advise against it.
Yeah, that is a whole nother thing to keep in mind as well as that netcode issue and all the joys that come with that as we get a delayed start here. A little bit extra pace time, make sure everyone gets in the right spots. It looks like Nichols did claim that one. So here we go once again, Andrew Payne. Now Ron Hart on the front row.
And Brett, you don't want to be up high either because you can get forced in that wall coming off forward. There's a little jut there, like we were mentioning, and that hurts.
Yeah, that does, and it is very easy to get that wall because even though this is a small track, it may look very similar on both ends. Turn number 2 loses that banking a little bit sooner than, turn number 4 loses that banking a little bit sooner than turn number 4, and with that, you lose that front end. As Tim Rogers goes around here off of turn number 2. If I was a prophet here, I would say maybe the same exact incident happened to Tim Rogers here. As we'll take a look here at the yellow flag, see what happened to the 48 machine. As it looks like, Rogers got a piece of the apron.
Yeah, that was not the same incident. That one's fully on Tim.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. 48 machine got the apron, drifted on up, and that's something we haven't talked about yet, Carson, but is a thing here, especially like you mentioned, the lack of sight that you get in these corners. I mean, not only do you have to judge where the car to your outside is, but then you got to judge where the apex is, where you want to place your car. These drivers having to do a lot here and pretty much no time to think about what they're doing with how quickly we're turning laps around this place.
Yeah, Brett. I was thinking about it earlier. What would be a fitting analogy for it? It's kind of like you're in a coffin in a bowl.
I like that. I like that.
So not very comfortable.
Yeah, I would bet not. As here we go once again here. We'll get the one to go at the stripe. It looks like Andrew Payne once again electing the inside lane. And Carson, I'm kind of glad we have 125 laps instead of the 100 because once we go green, it'll already be 35 laps into this race already. This race flying on by.
Yeah, Brad, and a lot of action so far. I think 3 cautions already, and I don't think they'll be slowing down.
I don't think they will be either because intensity's only going to ramp up as this race gets closer to the finish. As here we go once again, Andrew Payne away with a great start. Ron Hart able to hold on to second. Kurtachi having Regan Ford trying to stay to the outside, and Greggy Long trying to get by with some muscles for P number 4. Kurtachi will slam the door shut there down the backstretch on Ford. Greggy Long and Ford, big time contact down the front stretch. And there's that contact you mentioned, Carson, with coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Brett, just be careful. Even pre-race was mentioned to the drivers, just be careful because of the issues we've been having with contact leading to iRacing Arena's netcode. So usually with these, we see them leaning on each other more, and usually that's kind of how you race these things, but tonight you gotta be careful.
Yeah, that we do. And Carson, I guess here just the beginning part of this race here, we were just listening to us yapping. Now we got some sounds of the cars. Of course, good old PC update, changing all the sound settings. So now we get to hear the beautiful sounds of some street stocks around this place as well. As we look at our first side-by-side battle for position, it is Jimmy Gowker trying to work over Ford as Ford once again hard slick into the outside wall coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Brett, some good battles like Dave Payne and Zach Coyer. Those guys almost lean on each other.
Yeah, we'll go back to that battle here. Payne trying to work the inside of Coyer. Has Scott Austin right on the back bumper of them as well. Austin just waiting for one of these lanes to clear on up, try and get through the field. And speaking about getting through the field here, Andrew Payne probably going to see some lap traffic here before long with such a small track and this many cars out on the speedway.
And Brett, for that 93 car, always a fast car, always a good competitor. You think he's destined to win one of these?
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, Andrew Payne, looking at the stat sheet, I mean, first and second right here. The second and third most wins ever in ASRC. Both these guys combined for over 40 ASRC wins. So I think it's a matter of time before we see Payne in victory lane this season.
Trouble with Mike McCaskill.
Yeah, McCaskill really slow there. Looks like he is able to get off the speedway, but here we go. Andrew Payne inside some lap traffic, and Ron Hart, a little bit of a mistake. Here comes Jaden Kratacci. They're going to try and go 3 wide. Wow, how'd they make that work?
Look out, John. We saw John in an incident with leaders last night, Brett.
Yeah, that we did a little bit of stack up in front of him, and it gets tough trying to run this top side, worrying about those lead lap cars or whatever, and if someone's slow in front of you, it can create a bottleneck in a hurry.
Yeah, Brad, it was just a bit of an unfortunate situation, and man, if you get stuck in the wall here, there's kind of nowhere to go because everyone's just on one line, and the reaction, like we were talking about, you can't really see down the track, so you don't really have time to react.
Yeah, so we get a yellow flag here on the speedway. Looks like the 48 machine of Tim Rogers once again in the grass here tonight. So we will try and figure out what brought out this 5th yellow flag of the night. Looks like it may have involved once again the 48 machine, as we'll see what happened to Rogers once again on the apron and almost identical to his first one.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Not a good look, almost the same exact incident there.
Yeah, so a tough night going, even worse for Tim Rogers because with that spin, that will trap him 1 lap down here. So not only does he get the claim and have to start at the back, now he also has to wait for the next yellow flag, let's say, and try and get back on the lead lap as this time by it looks like John DeMeester is the lucky dog here as looks like Ty Delphia down on pit road on the backstretch.
And Brett, man, I wish we could. We probably shouldn't, but I'd love to bring Tim in right now. He's probably mad in the car.
All right, let's try and actually, I don't see Tim Rogers here in the Discord. So if Tim Rogers is watching or any Tim Rogers fans out there, tell him to get into Discord here. We'd love to have a word with him.
Yeah, he'd have a great one-liner for that.
Yeah, that he would, Carson, as here we go at the stripe. We'll get the 1 to go signal once again on the front row. Andrew Payne, Ron Hart will start there. Jaden Kratacci, Greggy Long, 3rd and 4th, and then to round out the top 5, Stephen Roachford. He has driven up towards the front here. Has been kind of quiet, but looking pretty good. He finds himself in 5th here on this restart.
Green flag.
Here we go to the green flag. Once again, Payne away with another great start as everyone else tries to fight to that bottom side. Kratacci loose, trying to keep Hart up top. Hart will drive it in there deep, get clear for P number 2. Further on back, Jimmy Gauker.
Yeah, big save.
Yeah, almost a tank slapper into the wall. Looks like he will get clear Roachford if he's able to drive it in there deep, get a good run off of turn number 4. Looks like that he does. So Gauker up into P number 5 here. He had himself a great qualifying effort. Now backing it up inside the top 5 here for the first time tonight. Up in front, battle for the race lead. Ron Hart, Andrew Payne, they will lean on each other down the backstretch.
Caution.
As we get a caution flag here, that will put a break on that battle. As we try and figure out what happened, looks like maybe Zach Coyer involved. Yeah, you see Coyer here with no front nose.
Yeah, Zach Coyer lost in a huge impact for Ty Delphia. It's not even ARCA breaking, Brad. He just went in there and tried to kill Zach.
As we see Zach Coyer here spin down the backstretch coming to a stop. And yeah, Delphia maybe thought there's going to be a gap to the top side. Misjudged that. And like you said, a huge impact for the 13 machine here tonight. Wow. Some 13 on 13 car violence right there, Carson.
I mean, he almost hit him right in the driver door. He could have cut his legs off.
Yeah, he really could have there. So a scary hit there. It looks like Coyer's going to try and continue. Looks like Delphia Knight will be over here. And under the yellow flag, Tim Rogers will get his lap back. But more importantly, at this point, Carson, we see the cross flags. It is halfway done, halfway to go here tonight. And we are already 6 cautions in.
Almost a caution every 10 laps.
Yeah, that's what we're definitely averaging here as we try and get ready. Should we try a little turn 3, turn it up on this restart? Maybe that'll help these guys get a little bit of a green flag run.
Yeah, maybe that would be some good juju.
Alrighty, so we'll go throw it to a turn 3, turn it up for this restart and let the cars do the talking. Alrighty, we come back here to Slinger and Carson. A little bit of some drama there while we're in the turn it up.
Yeah, Scott Austin getting pinched between Mark Fuquay and Zach Nichols goes around the infield, no caution, Brad.
Oh man, and how about this? With that battle too, Andrew Payne was stuck on the top side. He gets shuffled back to third, maybe going back some more as Jaden Kurtachi to the inside of Payne. Payne goes way up off of turn number 4 and we'll lose that spot. So man, oh man, some tough racing here, but Carson, I think the turn 3 worked a little bit. We got a pretty decent run. I don't want to jinx it right now, but we're watching here on screen Zach Nichols try and cut his way through the field here once again. He's up into P number 10 as Andrew Harding tries to work over Jason Griffith in that 98 machine. Oh, as Payne sideways and Ford will get turned off of turn number, I guess into turn number 1 there, but once again, Carson, it looked like 3 wide racing at a track that I thought we pretty much knew we couldn't afford to be 3 wide racing here tonight.
And I could see why Andrew's upset there, Brad. I think that last hit was a little retaliation. Regan Ford was really leaning on him hard.
Yeah, so we'll watch back a little bit further, see what happened. But, oh, Payne got in the wall glue down the backstretch. That slowed him up. And then Ford tried to force his nose into 3 wide here at Slinger and just never really got off of Payne and then slapped on around. And then Payne says, "We'll see you later," and turns him there.
Yeah, frustrations there. A little bit of red mist there for the 93 car.
Yeah, I assume we'll see even more frustrations here as we head on into almost our last 40 laps. And probably once we go green, it'll be 40 laps left. And then we'll see some moves being made for sure here tonight.
I'm excited, Brad. This is just the appetizer to the main course.
One to go, no go.
Yeah, it definitely is, as here we go. We get the 1 to go there at the stripe, or sorry, 2 to go at the stripe as Look at this. Hart will elect the outside lane, so that puts now Greggy Long from second on the inside lane. Interesting call here because, like we mentioned many times, with being on the outside, your race is dictated all by how that car on the inside wants to race you.
Yeah, bro, we'll have to see what Greggy decides. Looks like Ron got the better start on the outside. Surprising there, Brad.
Yeah, Hart away with a great start there, so maybe proving us wrong a little bit there. So Hart will try and check out in front. Further on back, Hitachi, Gauker side by side, and the rest of the field 2 by 2 behind.
As one of my favorite things, Brad, looks like we got 2 modifieds out there tonight already.
Where are they at? Towards the back of the field here?
Yeah, it's actually both 13 cars, funny enough.
As yeah, we do have some modifieds, but top 3 single filed out. Can Hitachi run down the front 2 runners? Can Gauker finally get off the top side because he now has Steven Rochefort there? He will get clear Rochefort, but watch out. Here comes that red number 44 machine. Zach Nichols on the move again. So
yeah,
top 5 gonna single file out here tonight. First side by side now, Andrew Payne just trying to stop the bleeding. We thought maybe he had one of the cars to beat here. Now just trying to hang on to any position that he can.
Yeah, Brad, and to go back to your point on Zach, he's had a bit of a tough race. He's been involved in 3 incidents, but working his way through the field, that car's fast.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that here. As man, one of those modified cars, Carson, Zach Coyer, Caleb Ramsey here,
Yeah.
making his way through the field. He might get a top 10 without a front nose on that 13 machine.
Yeah, it's funny how both the unlucky cars are missing their noses, Brad.
Yeah, as everyone seems to really be enamored with the 13 car here at ASRC, but doesn't seem to be too lucky here. As we have a battle shaping up for second. Jaden Hitachi trying to kind of roll the outside of Greggy Long for second. Hitachi right on the back bumper Long here.
Ooh, big according back here with Devin McDonald, almost punting the guy in front of him.
Yeah, we ride on board with Greggy Long looking back at Hitachi. This is the battle for second. We're trying to see where the 11 car might be a little bit faster, can roll a little bit more speed through the apex, but just can't get any clean track here with this place being so tight. As here he comes to the inside. Here comes Hitachi. We'll think better than to sail it on in there, at least at this point of the race.
And still bumper tag, Brad. It's Devin McDonald and Matt Fuquay. So back here, these guys are lean on each other.
But how about this? Most of the field single filed out, so that means one thing, Carson. Lap traffic gonna be a factor here towards the closing stages of this race if we do not see another yellow flag here. Ron Hart currently leading the way over Greggy Long in second, Jaden Hitachi in third, Zach Nichols up into P number 4, and then it is Jimmy Gauker rounding out the top 5 here with 25 to go.
As Devin door slams Matt Fuquay now, he's trying to pass him.
As we go back to that battle here, now Scott Austin to the inside of the 93.
Thing. Just move him out of the way, Brad.
Yeah, at this point, with inside of 25 to go, that's pretty much the quickest way to get around someone here tonight. And just move them up and out of the way here as further on up. Looks like Caleb Ramsey trying to work over Andrew Hardings. This is the battle for a top 10 finish here tonight.
Yeah, Brett, look, seems like these drivers now, all bets are off. They're racing as hard as they can.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way here tonight. Here, as we get to the closing stages, Ramsey trying to keep Hardings as high up to on this racetrack as he can, and with that tactic, Ramsey's slowly inching ahead of this 45 machine. Looks like here in about a lap, if not now, he gets clear. As Will Hardings try and send him on up. Looks like couldn't quite get to the bumper if he was planning that. So Caleb Ramsey inside the top 10 here. Right behind them, here comes Devin McDonald to the inside of Jason Griffith. This will now be a battle for 12th, and if Devin can pull off this pass, I'll make him the biggest mover of the night here tonight.
I don't know if I really call it passing what he's doing, Brad.
At this point, especially this track, any pass is anything you can take at this point.
Yeah, I guess that's why they call it short track racing.
Yeah, as Joey Logano would say, right?
Yeah.
As it looks like Griffith able to hang on to that spot.
Oh.
Oh man, they all get the wall there. Now
Oh.
Austin will tag McDonald in the rear. These guys saying it's go time. Here comes Austin now looking to the inside of McDonald. McDonald once again big time sideways off of turn number 4. Some great battles through the field here, and the longest green flag run of the night by far here, Carson. And these guys putting on a show, but out in front, Ron Hart about a half-second advantage over Greggy Long, Jaden Kratachi, in striking distance in third, and then quite a bit of a gap to Zach Nichols there. As it looks like Austin able to get around McDonald for that 13th position. Further up front here, Ramsey trying to get around Andrew Payne. And then further on back, Dave Payton and Tim Rogers have been side by side, I want to say, for almost 15 laps. But they got to be careful because right behind them, our race leaders are closing on in. As, Rogers will give Payton the door off at turn number 4 there.
Yeah, Brad, how about this 013 car not giving up on the race, even with this heavy front end damage, still trying to drive through the field?
Yeah, awesome to see here as Payton gets loose right in front of our race leaders. He somehow saves it, but can this be the opportunity Greggy Long needs? Because Payton gets a shot in the shorts here as Ron Hart tries to put the 38 machine one lap down. Man, oh man, we almost had a repeat of what we saw last night there, Carson.
Yeah, Brett, that was scary. I believe these guys up at the front are probably a little brown in their shorts right now.
Yeah, that they are, but now Hart has a rear view mirror full of Greggy Long here with this time by open palm from the flagman. It's 5 laps to go, and if you're Greggy Long, do you think about using that chrome horn here, Carson, by the end of this one?
Yeah, Brett, I think you got to if you want to try to win the race.
Yeah, we'll see what he will do or has to do, because he has to make a move quick, because now Jada Kratachi right in striking distance as well. Here we go, 3 laps to go. Long will give Hart a shot there off of turn number 2. What more does he have? Because this time by, popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go. Here comes Long to the inside.
Slide job. Yeah, he got into his left rear quarter there, Brendan, slid him.
Yeah, that he did. So side by side for the race lead here. White flag, 1 more lap to go. Can Hart hang on the top side? Will Long sail it in there deep?
Here we go. All bets are off, Brett. The final turn.
Coming off at turn number 4, Ron Hart will hold off Greggy Long with an incredible finish. Clean racing for the most part, as clean as you can get here at Slinger. Wow, that was some good racing right there, Carson.
Ooh-wee, that was awesome, Brett. That's what you signed up for here at ASRC.
Yeah, that is exactly it there. Some great respectful racing here at a track that respect, isn't a given any lap,
Nope.
let's say.
Not guaranteed, but that was about as clean as those two could have done it there at the end. No wrecking, no one, just good short track battling.
Yeah, that it was. So an awesome job for the 51 machine as he'll burn it down here on the front stretch. So with the win here tonight, Carson, that puts Ron Hart 2 wins on the season now.
Yeah, Brad, he'll be a guy to watch in this championship and the overall between the two series.
Yeah, that it will be, because in the overall points, he jumped up into second, and with Zach Nichols having a tough race last night, you know, all bets are off from here on out now. As Ron Hart will park it down here in victory lane. So Carson, we'll go to a quick commercial break. On the other side, we'll be here to chat with our top 3 finishers. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Slinger to chat with our podium finishers here. So we'll start at the bottom of the order first and chat with our 3rd place finisher, last night's winner, the 11, Jaden Kratachi. Jaden, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, my man. So overall, what'd you think of the racing here tonight with the street stocks at Slinger?
Honestly, better than what I thought it was going to be. The setup was very tight, which I expected it to be more so single file along the whole way, but it kind of got racy there towards the end, I'd say, once we all started figuring it out and the setup slowly got freer and freer. But yeah, it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun, like you said there at the end. And let's run through that, that ending, a long green flag run to end the race. I mean, who saw that coming?
I don't think any of us did. I sat around at the beginning of that, kind of just managing some tires a little bit, let Ron and Greggy go burn some stuff off, and it paid off because Andrew fell off, but I needed a caution by the time that was all said and done.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you have done anything different knowing the outcome and knowing that it would go green from, I think, that 8th yellow here tonight?
Yeah, definitely would have. I mean, definitely would have started pushing it a little harder sooner in that run, but I mean, it is what it is. We had fun and came home 3rd, so can't complain.
Yeah, I can't complain, but I know, just like all racers in the back of their minds, you were trying to go 2 in a row, sweep the week here at Slinger.
Well, I thought I was in the catbird seat when Greggy got to the inside of Ron, and I seen him touch in turn one. I was trying to set it up to where I'd enter high and come off low and stick it 3 wide under him, and I was just gonna send it. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. But just couldn't build up enough of a run there and get enough cut in the car to do that. But it managed to be a good finish still, and like I said, it was a blast running it.
Yeah, that it was. I mean, I didn't quite have a chance to talk to you about your win last night at Slinger, but what went into that and then what kind of translated over here? Because just like last night, lap traffic came into effect and almost shook up the front of this field here tonight as well.
Yeah, lap traffic last night definitely was the toughest thing, and I'd say tonight as well. I mean, it's just such a fast racetrack. Yeah, it's pretty much react and don't think. So that definitely it definitely plays a bigger role, I'd say, into it. But yeah, lap traffic definitely the toughest part.
All righty, man. Well, next week we have an off week, so got any good plans for the off week here, Jaden?
Well, I know my family's coming up, or some of my family's coming up from Indy, so probably be spending time with them, and probably just relaxing, I'd say. Get some work done, do some wraps on some race cars, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, there you go. And then we come back full head of steam and a lot of big races here to end off the season. Any tracks you still have circled on the calendar here as we enter in the second half of the season?
Shoot, I'll be honest, I don't even know what the next track is. But I'm sure there's a few on that schedule I'm excited for.
Yeah, I was going to say, next week we head to Richmond, then Irwindale Outer, which is always a favorite. Nashville Fairgrounds once again, in North Wilkesboro. I mean, some good tracks still left on the schedule.
I'm excited for every one of those besides Richmond.
Oh, man, not
Richmond
a fan
is not
of Richmond?
my suit. Nope,
Really?
not a fan.
That
track's goofy.
Well, that's good news for maybe some of the competition here then.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure I'll get it figured out. Me and Zach will be doing some testing, and Jimmy, I can't leave him out.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned those 3 guys, your teammates. You guys qualified 1, 2, 3 here tonight. I mean, that in itself was very impressive.
Heck, I'll be honest, I was trying to sandbag. Every time I try to sandbag, I always go fast. I don't get it. It's like whenever you don't try, you do good, and when you try, you absolutely screw it off.
Yep.
But it is what it is. I mean, we had to go do a little bit of digging through the field, started 10th, finished 3rd, and we got what we could.
Yeah, that you did. So awesome run on the 3rd here, Jaden. I'm sure you're pumped up with that, all things considered. So before we let you go and celebrate this P number 3, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, either sponsors, teammates, or maybe people tuning into the broadcast.
Thanks. Obviously, I got to thank you guys for broadcasting, all the fans watching on my channel and on Turn 3 Racing Network. My sponsors, got to thank R&B Car Company, Community-Wide, Federal Credit Union, Preferred Warranties Incorporated, Hoax Graphics, TechWorks Trailer Sales, Do All Concrete, United Plumbing, and I think I got all the sponsors. Not too sure. We'll find out. Oh, wait, R&M Towing's another one. I keep forgetting to shout them out, but yeah, they just came on board this year with us, so got some plans in the future for racing, but yeah, I'm excited to see how it all goes.
Yeah, definitely some exciting stuff I know you have in the real life stuff, Jaden. So always a great time chatting with you, my man, and you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Thanks, man. You guys as well.
Alrighty, Carson. That was our 3rd place finisher, Jaden Kratachi.
Yeah, Brad, my pick, not too shabby. A good qualifying effort. Inverted grid, though, starting 10th and worked his way up 7 spots to finish 3rd here tonight.
Yeah, definitely very, very impressive. All things considered after it's all said and done. So a great run for Jaden, and Carson, a great pick there, finishing P number 3.
Yeah, Brad, you must be a fan of this track because back-to-back nights at Slinger, he went 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, that is definitely very, very impressive here. So we'll chat with our 2nd place finisher, another impressive run. That is Greggy Long here. Greggy, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. What's up, Brett?
How are we doing here tonight? Because that race seemed like a lot of fun, and right there at the end, man, you could have shipped Ron for the win, but you raced him respectfully, and I love to see that.
Yeah, man, that race was fun. I had bad luck in the late models last night. Got into a wreck early, and ended my night. So I was using tonight as a redemption night. I had so much fun racing with these guys. It was door to door. There's not a lot of room, and it kind of got into Ron there going into one. So I was trying to be courageous towards the end and give him some room.
Yeah, and that you did exactly that. Could have ran Ron up the track in 3 and 4, said, I'm taking this checkered flag. You didn't do that. You hang on to second, but I think more importantly, you gained a lot of respect for points from Ron and everyone else tuning into this race here.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Jaden, I seen him on my bumper. I could have drove it in 3 cars deeper at times, and it could have knocked Ron loose. But I didn't want to make him lose 5 positions. If it was different, if it was only racing for 1 position and nobody was on our bumpers, and I didn't want to wreck 4 race cars instead of moving 1. So it really wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah, and I love that kind of mindset, especially on iRacing. Not enough people have that mindset when it comes to virtual race cars. No repercussions for that sort of stuff. So I said it before, I'll keep on saying the praise and giving you that respect because Greggy, that was awesome to see here tonight.
Oh yeah, this track is definitely known for being the banked Bowman Gray. I'll just leave it at that. Tight corners, you're racing for all the ground you can get, and you can't really run the top side for over 5 laps because that right front goes right away.
Yeah, definitely seen that way. And to start backing up your race from, that great finish between you and Ron, who would have guessed that last run would have been that long there? I mean, knowing what you know now, knowing that there wouldn't be a yellow, would you have done anything or a little bit different to try and get to Ron maybe sooner, or what could have maybe changed, or what was your thought process there?
Honestly, coming back to last season, we ran here in these and for the last street stock season, and I killed my right rear that race, so I was trying to save the right rear. I'm not sure if there's anything differently I would have done. Ron, he's higher in points than me, so I wasn't trying to ruin a bunch of people's points races. I was just trying to ride and catch him at the right time, see if he was going to make a mistake, and he raced a mistake-free race, and a lot of respect to him, a lot of respect to all the guys up in the top 5. Nichols had a rough night, but pulled it back up into the top 5, and Jaden was on my bumper that whole race. He was being nice enough to let us in at times when he didn't have to, so if I wasn't getting raced rough, there's no reason to race the guys around me rough.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like that. Some great racing all night long for you guys at the front. And yeah, like you said, Greggy, not a lot of luck last night. So what'd you kind of learn about Slinger, let's say, with your limited time last night? And what'd you learn here tonight to kind of learn the street stocks here at this track? Because even though it's the same track, there's always differences no matter what car you jump into.
Oh yeah, it's a different day. The track's different. It's last night it was a little later in the night when we raced. The late models got really loose in a good way though. Like it was a good handling race car, and there was some netcode issues that got me wrecked. But other than that, I mean, being patient because it's hard to be consistent on this track, so everybody's gonna mess up. It's just don't push the pace and push the mistake. Let them make the mistake and then jump on it once it happens, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's always a great word of advice. I tell that to my fellow competitors too whenever I'm giving advice to people is, yeah, you can drive it in their car length deeper, but 9 times out of 10 that won't work. You just got to wait for that guy to mistake, because if you put enough pressure, you're in that guy's mirror long enough, they're always bound to at least make one mistake, unless you're going up against, the top talent, let's say.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I wasn't going to push the pace as much as I did towards the end there. Like, I was completely content with a top 3, and if Jaden was going to get a run, I was honestly going to let him by me. When I seen the lap cars come up, I was like, okay, Ron's going to have to slow down here. And then coming out of 2, there was a little jumble up, and he had to get on the brakes. Well, he locked his fronts up, and I seen him lock them up. And then after that, he started slowing down a little bit. So I was like, okay, we're going to try and push the pace, get him to push up the track and get under him. So he pushed up going into 1. I shot to the inside a little too hard, got into his door. Gave him a lot more room coming out of 4 because I felt bad and didn't want to wreck him.
Yeah, awesome racing there, Greggy. And once again, awesome job on a second place here. I know it seems like the street stocks, you haven't had the luck, so I'm sure walking out of here, feels really good with a P number 2, all things considered, with the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been having a lot of issues with just saving tires in these is so hard because everybody's so close. We got a solid stack of field, and with us being having to run the top at times and not being able to get down to the bottom like that, I just played my cards right this race. Nashville last week, I ran the top too long and burnt my right rear off, and it costed me a lot of drive off for the last 30 laps.
Yeah, no, it seemed like you managed these tires great here tonight. And Greggy, first time for me talking to you in the booth. I always like to ask, get a little insight from you as a driver about your sim setup. A lot of people can maybe get some pointers or get an understanding what you guys are using to go fast. So, Greggy, what are you maybe looking at? What do you got for wheel and pedals and all that good stuff in front of you here?
Yeah, honestly, I'm running on bare minimum pretty much. I'm running on a single monitor. I got a Logitech G920 wheel and pedals. We're gonna upgrade here soon, I believe. Hopefully some Fanatec stuff get me going a little more. But if you're wanting to start iRacing and you're wanting to get into it and race with us, and join the field, you really don't need a lot. Pedals are more important than the wheel. If you got force feedback, you're good with the wheel. But just don't go crazy, and it's not that expensive if you do it right. You just got to get the sim going, and if you can get in a race, it's better than not being able to race at all.
Yeah, that is very true. And Greggy, you're another one of those drivers to prove, like you mentioned, you don't need these high dollar fancy equipment to go out here and have fun. And not only that, but to also be fast like you are here finishing second.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've had a lot more luck in the late model stocks this year. My luck's kind of ran down here the last few weeks, but it's getting better again. I feel like this is going to be a nice path to getting better in both leagues, Tuesday nights and Wednesdays. Yeah, I think this is going to shape up to be a good second half of the season.
Yeah, that it should be here as with the conclusion to tonight, second half of the season. What are you kind of looking forward to for track wise, maybe in the second half, as well as what do you got planned for the off week? Anything fun?
This off week, we might go work on the race car in the garage. Hop off the sim for a little bit. Still race my official throughout the day whenever I can. But just I'm ready for these next few tracks. Richmond's gonna be a really racy track. I feel like it's a bigger track, so you're gonna have more room to make moves. I feel like there's gonna be a few little bumpers given. A lot of to gain position on them tracks. But with these bigger tracks coming up, it's opening up to the driver's talent because you got to save your tires and have the drive off the whole race instead of the quarter of the race. And this track is a little more forgiving on the right rear, but those tracks you got to have right rear.
Yeah, that is for sure. And that center speed, because as you go to faster tracks, it's all about carrying that momentum as well.
Yep, it's all about the angle going into the corner and all about driving across the center instead of around the center of the corner. I look forward to it for sure.
Yeah, it definitely will be exciting second half. And yeah, Greggy, you mentioned a little bit there with your off-season plans, real life racing. You do quite a bit of it. Why don't you tell some of the viewers here at home what you're up to and what are your plans are for 2025?
Yeah, so last year, towards the end of the year, we picked up a late model. I ran it one time last year at Owasso Nationals. Didn't make the A, ran the B, started 19th, finished 4th. So hopefully we can carry on that into this season. As long as everything goes right, I will be running I have a truck for the truck class, and I actually won the championship last year. So hopefully we can come for a little two-peat, hopefully. I don't want to sound cocky because that's the wrong way to take it, but I had a few horseshoes with me when I went to the track last year and did really good. So luck was on my side last year, and hopefully we can chase it again this year in the late model and truck.
All righty, sounds like some awesome stuff, Greggy, and definitely we'll be looking forward to seeing you race at Owasso, either in person or on the YouTube streams. I assume you can catch all the racing action there for you, as well as any social medias you want to shout out quick to keep up to date.
Oh yeah, I have a GL3 Racing YouTube channel, so if you want to catch the in-car footage of these races, I usually stream every day, every night. I'm trying to get the followers and stuff up, but you'll get a lot of perspective of how it feels to be in the car and racing with these guys up front. It's definitely more intense.
Alrighty, awesome. And you said that was GL3 Racing?
Yep, GL3 Racing on YouTube.
Awesome stuff, Greggy. Well, before we let you go and celebrate this P number 2, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you for the final time here tonight and thank who you got to thank, either sponsors on the car, some of those all-important teammates, or maybe some people tuning into the broadcast here.
Yeah, Ron Hart, definitely. He's raced me clean, and he's kind of taken me apart. I'm not going to say I'm on their team, but him and Chuck are teammates, and they kind of take me in every week to learn from them and run with them and be in the same Discord chat. I really appreciate them guys a lot. JGR Designs, that's actually Jimmy. He threw this paint scheme together for me last night super late, and I want to thank him for that. If you need any cool designs, basic or anything even done to them, go to Jimmy and see what he can do for you.
Alrighty, awesome stuff there, Greggy. And yeah, Ron and Chuck are definitely some great teammates. Like you said, I always love racing around Ron on track. He's definitely one of the most fun drivers to be side by side with.
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys have a great night. I'd like to thank you guys too, of course, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to watch this intense race back.
Well, I appreciate it a lot there, Greggy. And you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. Go celebrate this runner-up finish here.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good night, and hopefully all you viewers enjoyed that race.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they did. So we'll catch you later.
All right, later.
All righty, Carson. That was our runner-up finisher, Greggy Long, in a nice intro setup, but it can show that you can still be fast with even just the beginner stuff, let's say.
Yeah, Brett, it's true. Talent will shine through no matter what equipment you're on. But how about that for Greg Elong? A season best finish, a second here tonight, avenging some of his bad luck. Last year in this series, he led 8 laps and finished last, so he had an incident. So a really nice rebound for him here at this track.
Yeah, that it was awesome to see for the number 17 machine. But Carson, let's go head down to the man of the hour down in Victory Lane. We'll chat with Ron Hart. Ron, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you, Brett.
All righty, my man. So, first and foremost, what are you doing here tonight?
Man, I just supposed to be going to Texas for work, and I'm 2 weeks in a row got canceled due to weather. So those people in Texas can't handle a little bit of snow, so they closed their office down there today for some freezing rain. So I got the call about 6 o'clock last night to not come. So I was like, well, shoot, we're going to make our way back to Slinger tonight. We got missed it by one spot last night, so happy to get back here and get it done tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for that, we'll start at the end there, that finish. You and Greggy Long side by side. You don't see that really ever here at Slinger, especially for a win on the line.
Yeah, I kind of made the call to give him the bottom with like 2 to go. I felt like I could hold him off on the top. I learned a lot last night running the top and was able to hold off a few guys. I think I restarted second about 7 times and was able to hold him off every time. So I really kind of learned a good way to run the top last night to defend, and it paid off tonight. I restarted a few times second next to Andrew. Even took the top on the restart. I just felt like that was the place to be. And coming down to the end, I was getting tight, behind those lappers. I kind of slid the fronts when they about wrecked and killed the right front. And I just decided to give Greggy the bottom, right? I'd rather have him run in my door than into my tail. I felt like I could control it a little bit better that way. So, and that's kind of what happened, right? I was able to control his right front, keep him pinned down, and just use the momentum to beat him back to the line.
Yeah, and I mean, some great racing. I mean, you and Andrew put on a great show to begin the night. And, yeah, that choice on the outside lane, I wasn't too sure about the choice, but right when you fired off, you proved myself very wrong there. So hats off to you on that decision.
Greg and I are working together a little bit. I'd rather have him in second there too. And I just felt like I wasn't too worried about getting past there in the bottom. I felt like I could hold him off at least for a few laps if I needed to and get clear.
Yeah, and that you did. And Ron, you mentioned a little bit learning some stuff from last night, finished on the podium there. Another podium here tonight, of course, down in Victory Lane. I mean, different car, different slightly time of day of track. So, that comes into factor. But overall, what can you kind of learn from late model stocks, bringing it over to street stocks, and what'd you have to kind of relearn here tonight?
Just all learning, man. I never raced this track before yesterday, so it was brand new to me. And we did get some practice, which was good yesterday for the late model the night before. And like I said, just learning the top, how you kind of pinch people off, don't overdrive it, and pinch them down. I think I had about 5 minutes of practice tonight, so maybe that kind of paid off to qualify a little bit worse than where we would have if I would have got some more practice under my belt. But once he got in the race, it was just all about saving tires there, and had a good battle with Andrew, like you said, and trying to play the game. We kind of play it as Spartan, Brett. You know how that goes, being an even number to get spots on the restarts until you get up to the front, and then just trying to get the lead so you can control the race after that.
Yep, and you did that to perfection here tonight. The only thing, though, lap traffic, we saw it come into a factor in the late model stocks, taking out some of the leaders. I mean, what was going through your mind? And you even mentioned locking up that right front. That always has to throw a little bit extra in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I tried not to catch him a little bit at the end. I think I backed up a little bit to Greggy and took my chances that way. I'm like, do I want to race the lappers? Do I want to race Greg and Jaden and those guys? So I was happy not to catch too many of them there at the end. It worked out pretty good that way, so we didn't have to get up there in that hornet's nest that was going on. They were all 2x2 and beating and banging. So once I saw us catching them, I tried to slow the pace up just a little bit to time it where we didn't get them to the end, and it worked out.
Yeah, that it definitely seemed like you did. So not to talk about points too much, but 2 weeks ago you moved into second in the overall standings trying to chase down Zach Nichols. We know that Nichols didn't have a good finish here tonight. You beat him by 3 positions again here tonight. I mean, is that going to start coming into more of an effect here second half of the season as, we get closer and closer to crunch time, because you're starting to put some pressure on that 44 machine now?
Man, much I'd love to tell you it would. It's just going to be tough with a couple trips I got coming up, trying to keep the wife happy before we go real racing. So I think I'm going to miss one in each series. Without a drop week, it's going to be tough. So I'm here for wins, checkered flags. We got 2 of those in the last 3 weeks, so that makes me happy. Not really stressing too much about the points since I'm going to miss a race or 2. Wish I wasn't, but also got to keep the old lady happy before real racing starts.
Yep, that's always a key thing to keep in check, right? She has to let you race this virtual race in this video game with your buddies, right?
Oh yeah, that and work gets busy in the spring, so I think I'm gonna miss the late model race for work and a street stock race for vacation. So, but it's still fun to get out here and race with these guys, man. Props to Greg tonight running me clean. I remember I was at Owasso, we race out there together, and a different series but same track. And he was talking to me about getting iRacing and asking some questions, and I was like, "You got to come race with us at ASRC once you get it," and kind of recruited him over here. So he started off, he was a little raw, probably joined the league a little bit before he was ready. As soon as he got on iRacing, it is a learning curve, and but he's really matured with it and got really good and races clean and is really fast for what he has.
Yeah, that he is. And Ron, I said it, I'm sure the viewers think so, and I'm sure you think so as well. Greggy earned a lot of respect points to all of us here tonight with how you raced here for the win, with all the stakes on the line.
It's cool, man. You get in here and race with, look at the top 4 tonight are all champions in real life, right? So you got Greg champion in the trucks at Owasso, late model champion in Jaden, the dwarf car champion in Zach. It just proves that this is how you get ready for the season. I think I won opening night 3 years in a row at Spartan and really didn't do any practice or preseason testing. I think I was just ready to go more than guys from racing on here with guys like we race with tonight. Gets you sharp, keeps you in the mindset, and just kind of get those reps. So when you go real racing in a couple months, you're not rusty, you're ready to go.
Yeah, and that's a great point there, Ron, because this is really a tool to get ready, let's say, right? Even though, we're not racing the same car, same track like we're doing, we're still learning kind of how to set up cars, what to do when, and just like you said, just keeping the repetitions going, keeping those same muscles moving always seems to help.
Yeah, it's unlike any other sport. I guess they have pretty good golf simulators now, but you can't go, practice quarterback versus defense, in your basement. You can't play basketball on a computer, right? So you can learn on here, and it just proves with the field and the guys that run up front every night on here, for the most part, are real life race car drivers, right? That we do this on weekends, and we've been doing it for a long time. And you come on here and you're fast on here, you're going to be fast in real life, is my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely seems to equate pretty well, like you said, top 4 here tonight, champions in real life in the Midwest. So very, very cool. One other thing I did want to mention here with, you chasing those checkered flags, this win here tonight put you tied with Andrew Payne with the second most wins ever in ASRC. You are now up to 22 wins. I mean, that's got to feel pretty cool now.
Yeah, how many behind that Brett Hahn guy for the first place?
I think you're about still 6 back from there.
All right, that's the goal. If I catch you, then you got to come out of the booth and come back and race with us again. So, I know it is cool, man. It's such a cool league, and to see how it's grown from back, sometimes we had struggle with car counts, and it seems like there's the same 2 or 3 guys every week winning, and now there's 26 cars and 10 guys who can win every night, or 15 guys who can win every night. And it's pretty cool to see what you guys have grown here and just how the league has evolved into, I'd say, one of the top short track leagues on iRacing.
Yeah, I would have to agree with all those points there. So, Ron, man, this was a great conversation. I feel like we could just do this almost in a podcast, chat every week, even after Wausau races, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, I was telling my buddy while you were interviewing Greg, you pretty much have a podcast after these races. So I'll be looking forward to the Brett Hahn podcast coming up.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe I got to hit up that owner of Wausau, start a podcast up there, get some recap, get some good insight from drivers.
I feel like it's due.
Yeah, it is. Well, Ron, always a great time chatting with you, my man. I always love to see you racing out on track, how you race. I haven't said in Greggy's interview, you're one of my favorite people to race on iRacing because you're one of the people that I can predict where you're going to go, nice and consistent, won't make any crazy aggressive moves or, even trying to race rough people up, let's say. It always seems like always a great heads-up battle no matter where you're out on track.
Yeah, just try to, like I said, I use it as a tool for real life. So if you're going to get practice tearing stuff up in here, you're going to tear stuff up in real life. You can't afford to do that. So you run clean in here, you run clean in real life. It's the way it should be done.
Yeah, that it is. So, Ron, here, we'll let you get going. I know we chatted your ear off here tonight. So before we let you go, I'm going to go let you thank who you got to thank, either those all-important teammates, some of those great sponsors on the car, or maybe some people tuning in at home, because we also spotlighted you here this week in the league as well.
Yeah, that's a cool feature, man. Thank you for putting this broadcast on. I know my parents watch every night and enjoy it, and a few other people watch the replay, so it's cool to be able to show them that. Miss Chuck Darling this week. Hope he can make it back next week. Wasn't the same without him in here and working together. And shout out to the guys just in the front the last couple nights. We'd had some hell of a race both nights up front. We had some cautions farther back, but I think the top 5-6 cars of the last 2 nights have just been outstanding. So look forward to off week and coming back in a couple weeks and trying to get a couple more wins.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, Ron. Well, you, my man, have a great rest of the night. Go celebrate checkered flag number 22 of your career, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, Carson. That was Ron the Hitman Hart down in Victory Lane for the 22nd time in his ASRC career.
Yeah, Brett, an ASRC veteran, the Hitman. He's always good out here. Bit of a disappointing race last week, finishing 8th in this series, but he had the win the week before, and he bounced back here tonight with another win. Good for Ron, and good drive through the field. He likes to race hard, and he gets the job done here tonight.
Yeah, that he does. So what do we say, Carson? We'll first get some final thoughts about the race, then run through the post-race and wrap things on up from there. So we'll hand the stage over to you first. I mean, what'd you think of Slinger? We knew there was going to be beating, banging, caution flags aplenty, but overall, like Ron said, some great racing up in front still.
Yeah, Brett, we were expecting the cautions like you mentioned. I think you said we had 8 of them and some crazy incidents, some wild racing, but it was great racing there at the end. Those top 5 guys were pretty close, top 4 guys, and they raced each other clean there down the stretch, Brett.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, like I said before in the interviews, I think Greggy Long earned a lot of respect from Ron, me in the booth, I think everyone watching, as well as some of the fellow competitors that go back with that. I think we got to clean it up a little bit towards the back. Some of those incidents were a little bit preventable, but overall, I think, once again, these guys put on a great show. Awesome job by all the drivers to put on the racing that we get to enjoy each and every week here at ASRC. So got to give a big shout out to all those guys, as well as the sponsors that make this series happen. You see up on your screen there, the race1wraps.com catalog, some of the cool wraps you can see on real life race cars here in the Midwest, t-shirts, fan appreciation signs. If you want to find out more about them or hit up Mark, be sure to check out Race One on Facebook or race1wraps.com. So Carson, with that, I say we head over to our finishing order and see where everyone's favorite drivers finished here tonight at Slinger. So picking up his 22nd win will be the 51 of Ron Hart. Greggy Long, like you mentioned, Carson, season best finish of second. Will finish P number 2 in the 17. And then rounding out the podium, last night's winner, the 11 of Jaden Kratachi. Then going to P number 4, Zach Nichols, our current points leader, will rebound to a top 5 finish. Very impressive from there. And then this guy, he's been waiting for his time to pick up a win, has been on a good run. Jimmy Gauker finishing in 5th.
Yeah, Brad, I can catch my breath here with running through the finishing lineups here tonight.
Yeah.
Finishing in the 6th position would be the 66 of Stephen Rochford. Finishing in the 7th position will be the 52 car of Jeff Dillon. In the 8th position will be the 06 of Mark Fuquay. Coming in 9th, up 9 spots, a pretty good effort there from Caleb Ramsey, the modified in the 013. And then rounding out your top 10, we saw him up front early. It was the 93 of Andrew Payne.
Yeah, and I think Payne just burnt up his tires a little bit too early there, so tough break for him. And then heading back to P number 11 will be the 45. That is Andrew Hardings. Finishing 12th is the 18. That is Dev McDonald. Scott Austin will finish 13th. 14th going to Jason Griffith. And then 15th, making his debut start, is Matthew Fuquay.
And the pickup from there, the other modified, the other 13 car, Zach Coyer finishing 16th. 17th goes to Tim Rogers. We saw him have a couple tough incidents early on. 18th going to the 20 of Regan Ford. He was also in an incident. 19th, the first car lead lap down was the 38 of Dave Payne. And then to round out your top 20, it's the 2 car of John DeMeester.
And then picking it up from our last finishers, finishing in 21st, his first start with ASRC is the 33. That is Landon Dickens. 22nd, a tough break here. His top 3 streak ends here tonight. That's the 35 of Hayden Swank. Finishing 23rd is Ty Delphia. 24th going to Mike McCaskill. 25th, Johnson, who did not start. Neither did Grady Ehrman. So, Carson, that will do it here tonight from Slinger. Any final words before we wrap things on up?
I just hope next week they give us more time to run through the starting grid, Brett.
Yeah, I hope so as well. But don't forget, next week, off week, me and you will be down in Florida enjoying some of those nice sun rays. But yeah, 2 weeks from now at Richmond, I agree with that call.
Well, then they got 2 weeks to get their crap together.
Yeah, if they don't get it by then, Carson, I think we got to have a chat with someone, right?
Yeah, I'm going straight to Tanner.
There you go. Well, that will do it here tonight. Thanks again to all of our live viewers here. Appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning on in. All the replay viewers checking in at a later time. Once again, I said it before, our numbers have looked awesome here in ASRC. Both the late model stocks and the street stocks have been pulling in some great views here. So want to express my thankfulness to you guys for doing that for us. You know, I do this for fun out here tonight. You know, me and Carson, we're not professionals by any means. We enjoy doing this. So to have you guys tune in, show your guys' support, show the clicks, always means a lot to me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. Really do appreciate it here. Thank you to the YouTube chat out there, Jamie and Zach, jumping into the YouTube chat lands. Some other people we got to thank, of course, Race One Wraps, once again, title sponsor coming on board. Really got to appreciate them. LaPlante Racing Products partnered up with ASRC another season. Boardwalk Subs on board with the cautions. You see their logo being displayed. Some of the best subs in West Michigan. Find them at your local Boardwalk Sub shop, as well as Postma Flooring coming on board, title sponsor of the late model stocks. With Turn 3 Racing Network, we also partner with Premier Setup Shops. So you can find a link in the description to Premier Setup Shops. That will take you over to their website. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click from us will show them, as they support us, that we support them would go a long way. I would greatly appreciate that. So, like we mentioned before, folks, we are off next week. No racing all week long. We will come back in 2 weeks for Richmond with the late model stocks on Tuesday, and then the street stocks, same time, same place, being brought to you by the Boosted Brothers broadcast. So we will catch you guys in 2 weeks. Everyone stay safe. Enjoy the time off. I know myself and Carson will down in Florida, and stay safe. Have a good one, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Happy birthday, Nanny.